Ivan Toney transfer exit plan from Brentford has been put in place, vocalized or pronounced, all really brought to the public eye by the manager of Brentford, and every team that is really interested in him should be really ready to obviously go ahead and obviously get him in. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the Football News Show. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to these stories. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, today is really very important for us to see to it that we now know who is going to play into the African Cup of Nations final, and it's Ivory Coast versus Nigeria. Nigeria knocked out South Africa on penalties for 2. Then South Africa has gone ahead to, Ivory Coast have gone ahead to knock out DR Congo with that spectacular coming in through from Sebastian Haller. Sebastian Haller scored a very beautiful goal, and guys, I think it's gonna contend for the goal of the tournament. It has been really a beauty. It has been really a beauty and sensational. That volley bounces on the floor, and then it loops the goalkeeper into the back of the net. The goalkeeper was punished for obviously getting off his line, and it really went into the back of the net. And Sebastian Haller, making his first start ever since the African Cup of Nations started, has gone ahead to make his presence into the starting 11 of Ivory Coast really matter. So the third round playoff, it's obviously South Africa versus DR Congo. And then on Sunday, it's going to be the big one, Nigeria versus Ivory Coast. I tell you, this is the hugest final that you will ever want to watch. And I think Afcon is really going to reap big from it. It's a final that is going to go down in history in the world, because it might obviously be the most viewed Afcon final ever. You know, every time you're having Nigeria into the system, you know to it that all Nigerians all over the world are going to be onto the screens watching. So I'm gonna do something I think on Friday. I'm gonna bring you the preview on how that is expected. And Chelsea have gonna hit knock out Aston Villa from the FA Cup, and they've beaten them by 3-1. You know, Conor Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez in the mix. And then Nottingham Forest have gonna hit to knock out the side of Bristol City. And Man United is going to play away at Nottingham on the 28th of February. So those are the hints I really wanted to throw to you, and we're here to thank God for the gift of life. The Muslim is Barakallahu Fikum, and we thank the Lord God for the gift of life and for the protection. So continue to subscribe to this channel, guys. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Now, that is it coming in through from the latest updates, and let's go exactly into other stories. After Ivan Toney, we are going to talk about the Nigerian goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali, who was going to hit obviously save 2 penalties to take them to the final, and has going to hit reveal to us who is his idol that has always going to hit look at into the game of football. And Ollie Watkins has come out and obviously fired back at everyone who thought that he's not going to keep scoring goals, and it has been made clear that he's really good and he has not gone ahead to make it today as they took on the side of Chelsea, right? So how do you come out and really put out such statements and then you fail to take your team to the next round of the FA Cup, that is the 5th round? Now let's talk about Thomas Frank and what he has gone ahead to say about Ivan Toney. He has said it's quite obvious that Ivan Toney will most likely be sold in the summer. It can be expensive to sell your best player, but on the other hand, I also know what by summer he will only have a year left on his contract with us. We also know what he's worth. I don't think there are many strikers in the world who are better than him right now. He's a really good striker who is in his prime footballing age. Personally, as a coach, I would prefer to keep Toney, but one day it could be fun to see him at a top team. This winter, we actually had no bids for him, but it would surprise me if there aren't a lot of clubs interested in him during the summer. So that is really very important to note that a lot of things are really going on the best way. So I really want to start it off from the bottom, that we actually had no bids for him in the summer. Teams like Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal and Chelsea were all looking to sign Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney came out and really made it public that if an offer came in through from a top club, he would obviously run for it and go and really grasp the opportunity. But no clubs went ahead to bid. Arsenal was the hugest club that was interested in signing Ivan Toney, but they felt like it was not a move worth making because they've gone ahead to have close to 4 players who can play as centre forwards: Jesus, Nketiah, Trossard, and Kai Havertz. So in so doing, they really pulled out. And pulling out just shows you that they are not willing to obviously make him their first choice signing. That is it. And Arsenal fans, I know this might not go well on you, but it looks like Arsenal are going to look elsewhere because their strikers like Vlahovic and Victor Osimhen, who are really firing all cylinders and they're hitting the ground running where they are, meaning that a Vlahovic striker who is 23 years of age or 24 and Osimhen who will be 25, if they score very many goals this season, they are not gonna be dropped by Arsenal to go in for Ivan Toney because their quality is far much better than Ivan Toney, and Brentford has told you that they are going to spend expensively on this guy. They want to sell him expensively, and they are calling in 80 to 100 million pounds. I told you that for Ivan Toney, coming in through and starting to score goals is gonna really put his price up there. But if Brighton cannot allow 60 million pounds, trust me, Arsenal will look for someone else, because they'll see if at all it's 80, we just add 20 and get in Victor Osimhen. If it's 100 or it's 80 for Ivan Toney, you just get the same amount of money, take it to Juventus and get Dusan Vlahovic, who is a better finisher. And I think Arsenal are gonna be spoiled for choice because Ivan Toney won't join them if they put a hefty price onto him. That is it. They should just accept that Ivan Toney is worth 60 million pounds. That is it. But if at all they go 80 north, I think it's gonna really see not him sign him, because Spurs are looking to bring in a striker. That is it. Chelsea might be looking to bring in a striker. Then Man United are looking to bring in an experienced striker. Then Arsenal is also looking in to bring in a striker. So with the strikers available, Vlahovic, Victor Osimhen, so we don't know whether he will have to gate a team like Arsenal, because Arsenal might look for pure quality, and not until we get to know who is the priority signing of Arsenal this summer, that's when I'll let you know that Ivan Toney is not gonna make it to Arsenal. The moment Arsenal comes out and really says Ivan Toney is not their priority signing this summer, that will mean they're not willing to spend a huge chunk of their budget on him, and that will obviously put them out of the equation to sign Ivan Toney. But the moment they come out and say he is their priority target, then they have numerical advantage to signing him, because they'll start talking to the club, talking to the player to agree personal terms and make sure he obviously shows up at the side of Arsenal. And I think by March we'll have known, like a month from now, we are going to be knowing who exactly is the priority target of Arsenal, because there is Douglas Luiz, there is Zubimendi, there is Pedro Neto. There are very many players that Arsenal are looking at, and who are they gonna make their priority signing? It's really very important. For Chelsea, they've gonna hate to let this guy go. That is Broja, and they want to have 2 strikers. But if they qualify for Europe, they'll call for another striker, and they might go in for that guy. Man United is also in need of a striker, but we don't know who they're going to be pointing at to come into the club of Man United, because when you look at the curve of Rasmus Højlund and his trajectory, it's really in its ascendancy. And if it's in the ascendancy, then you cannot kill the vibe of such a young boy who was going to hit to prove to you that they can score you the goals that you want by getting in a striker who is experienced. You have to get in a striker who is going to be an understudy for him, because he has proven that he's really good. In the previous 4 Premier League games, he has going to hit to score 4 goals. So I see teams like Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur going in for Ivan Toney. That is it. You get? Those 2 teams are the ones I see that will go in for Ivan Toney. So Arsenal will be having an edge on Tottenham Hotspur, because for me, I see Arsenal as one of those teams that are going to qualify for the Champions League, and Spurs won't be really qualifying for the Champions League. So we are here to wait and see what exactly is going to happen. But Ivan Toney transfer made clear. You know, the race is open. Now you can come in through and really talk to the player, convince him, and talk to Brentford and see how much money they are going to obviously do for this guy. But there is a special case scenario. And what is that special case scenario? That special case scenario is all about him scoring very many goals. If he can go ahead and really get double figures, you know, for half of the season, it's gonna really increase his demand and his price. So we wait and see how that pans out. But it looks like it's a confirmation that this guy is gonna leave, and even the team of Brentford want to use that money they'll get from him to obviously reinforce their squad. For example, if they happen to get like £60 million from the sale of Ivan Toney, obviously they can spend like 15 or 20 and get in at a center forward that won't even cost them a lot of money. And when you look at teams like Arsenal, they can obviously go in for a very beautiful deal. Edin Ketia, make weight, gate, Brentford like £40 million, and then all 30, and then you do that batter, which won't be bad. So wait and see how that pans out. But Ivan Toney transfer race has been opened, and teams that are really ready to get this in are willing to do the needful. Then let's go to Nigeria. The goalkeeper was going to hit to save 2 penalties, and he not only saved penalties, but even in the 120 minutes, he was really very, 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 very integral in their getting to the next level. And he has told us that he likes watching videos of Manuel Neuer to get motivation before games. I love watching my role model. I love watching Manuel Neuer before my game, even 2 days before my game, even in the dressing room. I always watch him. So he's looking after Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he has been a sweeper, modern, press-resistant goalkeeper for years. Everything you see Onana do, David Raya, Emerson, Alison Baker, he is like the pioneer of all this, you know, in this era. But when you look at the other era, there was a goalkeeper called Edwin van der Sar, the club of Manchester United. He could do everything. He was a ball-playing goalkeeper, and he was a good shot stopper, and he was a very good sweeper goalkeeper. So, and he was good in everything: penalties, crosses, commanding the central defense. So Manuel Neuer is like the new Edwin van der Sar of this era, and he's really doing wonders at the world football. So we wait and see how that pans out. But you now know that Nwabali is really so much sunk into Manuel Neuer, who is really, to me, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Him and Alison Becker, but I prefer Alison Becker, you know, though Manuel Neuer has been doing it for years. But Alison Becker, for me, he's the best goalkeeper. And I was really shocked when I saw a Liverpool pundit in my country come out and say Alison Becker, he's poor at ball distribution. I asked myself, does this guy watch the same kind of game as we watch? Alison Becker is the most complete goalkeeper I've ever gonna hate to see in this generation. When you look at all the Edersons of Manchester City, the David Rayas, they are not all good at really stopping shots, but they are good at ball distribution. But this one is a shot stopper, he's a super goalkeeper, and he's good with his foot to ball. Then let's go to Ollie Watkins. Before the game of Chelsea, this is what he had to say after went ahead to score in their 5-0 thriller against Sheffield over the weekend. He said, people are very fickle within football. We lost against Newcastle after a 17-match unbeaten home run, and there is a lot of negative talk. But then they drew on Saturday and we won, and it changed again. So I really hate it when players really find just a single game to really attack the media and everyone is talking about them. To have a very good sense of humility and mentality, all you have to do is simple. Get yourself in the best ilk of life and understand that you have to go ahead and really score on very many games, then you do the needful. Because right now, tonight, Chelsea has knocked them out at the Villa Park and they've gone ahead to be beaten. He has gone ahead to suffer a loss. What can he say right now? Meaning that he has to come in through and eat his words. He has to come in through and eat his words. That is Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins ashamed again because he couldn't defend his words when they're playing against Chelsea. And they're playing against Man United on Sunday, a game that I believe they are going to lose to Manchester United because now their confidence is really very, very, very low. So guys, your thoughts on Ivan Toney transfer race opened are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Nwabali, the goalkeeper of Nigeria, seeing Manuel Neuer as his role model, and Ollie Watkins ashamed again for his words? You know, he has gone ahead to eat his words, and all that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. Sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. We out.